All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody out there in Streamland. Welcome to an MLB Friday here on Baseball and Coffee. Um, Only 4 games last night, so it wasn't a huge night for baseball, but there was some good stuff that did happen, and we'll get into some of that. And I also want to get you guys in the chat to let me know your opinion on a few topics. Number one, who is the starting pitcher in Major League Baseball that you would trust the most in a winner-take-all game? And who is the relief pitcher in baseball that you would trust the most with 3 outs to go to win the World Series? So those are my 2 questions right out of the gate today as we get into our loading screen here, as we are going to quickly check the standings from last night, following last night, as we are now here on Friday, August 8th. Dog days of summer starting to kick in here. Let me get the chat up so I can see what I'm doing. Dog days of August starting to chip in here a little bit, and this is where it gets real. So I feel like a lot of our power rankings on these pitchers and on these hitters and on these teams are definitely going to make, we have a lot of sample size now, right? We're 4 months in. So here we go. Here are the standings as we hit today. Toronto 4 up in the American League East on the Red Sox, who have been quite hot as of late and are a team that I'm definitely starting to believe in. The Yankees are now 6.5 back out of first place, so they're hanging on, I believe, to the third wild card at the moment. But yeah, they've fallen pretty far back in the division. Detroit's lead is only 6 now on Cleveland. That was up to as high as 13 or 14 at one point. It's definitely gotten a little dicey here for Detroit. Let's see if they can keep pace with the way they've been playing all year and kind of right the ship there. Houston only a game and a half up on Seattle, who has now won 4 in a row, and they're looking really good coming out of the trade deadline. I like a lot of what they did. I feel very, very good about what they did. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this real quick. They got to feel good about what they did. Seattle, they have a great rotation. Now they have a lot better offense, and they're creeping back in there. Phillies, 2.5 over the Mets. Mets are scuffling. My Mets are scuffling a little bit, especially in the starting pitching department. And this is a big moment. They are going to play each other 7 times the rest of the way, the Phillies and the Mets. But right now, Mets falling behind a little bit of the Phillies and starting to cause a little panic in New York. Milwaukee 4 up on the Cubs. I did not see this coming. I thought the Cubs were the better team. As of right now, I've been proven wrong. Milwaukee 9-1 in their last 10, kicking everybody's butt. And the offense has started to turn it around a little bit for them as well. So if they can match that with their pitching, I mean, you can just forget it. That's really impressive. All right, we don't need that. Dodgers only 2 up now on the Padres. That's getting a little more sketchy. If you want to know my opinion, I think the Padres might have the better team at the moment. Dodgers, gotta like what they're doing in general, but at the same time, they're not fully whole yet. Ohtani's got a pitch limit. Glasnow's not looking like himself yet. Snell's not quite there yet. Once they get their starters back and some of their relievers back, I'll start to believe in them a little more. And maybe hopefully, they can get Mookie Betts going. That would be really, really big. So I'm going to run over for 1 second and grab my hat, which I forgot to put on today. But in the meantime, we're going to watch Paul Skenes pitch last night, and he's on my list. But before we get to him, this is my current list of my top 5 guys I would trust in a winner-take-all start. So that's my list right now. Skubal, Eovaldi, Skenes, Crochet, and Wheeler. And the reason why I went that direction, why I picked Skubal as my number 1, is just because Skubal and actually Eovaldi as number 2, those are the guys that are the most consistent and they don't beat themselves. Skenes, number 3, same thing. I've been waiting for him to maybe fall off a little bit at some point in terms of like just basically beat himself one time. It seems like if you're going to beat Skenes, you're going to have to take it to him. He's not just going to go out there and walk the house. In my number 4 spot, I have, who do I have in number 4 spot? I have Crochet, who, I'm a little worried about his workload, but overall, I think he's been really, really good. He's been excellent this season, and he's proven, to be a dog out there and can go really deep. And of course, I like the lefty factor as well. And then Zach Wheeler, who I think coming into the year still would have been my number 1 or number 2. He's had an excellent year. It's just these other guys have looked a little bit more dominant. I thought about giving love to DeGrom, Yamamoto, Framber Valdez, Max Fried, but we're only listing 5 today, so those are my 5. All right, so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to watch Mr. Paul Skenes. Now, if we go over here and look at his just absolutely absurd Baseball Savant page, we can see that he's literally above average in every single category. The only thing that even sniffs close to average is hard hit percentage. And we've looked at Skenes. This is going to be the 3rd Skenes start that I'm watching. First with you guys here on MLB YouTube channel today, but the thing that really jumps out to me about Mr. Skenes so far is that for a second-year pitcher, he kind of changes who he is almost every single start. If you look over here in his movement profile and different pitches, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pitches that see action for him. And on any given night, he can mix it up any which way he wants. And so last night, he pitched versus the Reds, a team in division who he's faced quite a bit. And so when you face a team that you face quite a bit, generally speaking, what that means is you have to kind of stick and move a little bit. You can't just do the same things over and over again. They've seen a lot of you. But Skenes had no problem rolling through them. We're going to watch the game. But this is how it breaks down pitch-wise. 39% fastball, 4-seamer, 20% sweeper, 14% changeup, 12% sinker. He threw 8 splits last night, 5 gyro sliders, and even mixed in a curveball. The only trend pitch that's over 50% versus either side is it looks like he leaned on his 4-seam fastball pretty good versus lefties. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and pop up that game from last night, Pirates and Reds. And Mr. Paul Skenes, and we can go ahead and get into this game, and we'll kind of speed watch this game. See how he gets his outs. TJ Friedel's the leadoff hitter.
The ability to do that right there.
And you know what? A 3-pitch punchy to start the game. We might as well watch how he just comes out of this game absolutely on fire.
First things first.
First pitch fastball, 99 down and away.
Skenes is not allowed to run an earned run in this ballpark in more than
Second
2 months.
pitch fastball up, so he definitely has him on the heater, and that first fastball is going to actually really help this third pitch tunnel. So this first fastball, let's take stock of where this ends up. It's kind of in the outer third portion. And then here's the changeup coming off of that.
Velocity at 99 and then 98 miles an hour. Elite fastball velocity.
Yeah, out of the hand. Looks like it's trending to the same area. So you got to swing. Got no choice but to swing. And you're on fastball timing because you just had 2. And then the ball just disappears below the zone and Frito's way out front. So there's the first punch out. It's on a changeup. Let's take stock of that. Looks like a lot of fastballs and changeups to left-handed hitters. But let's see how he uses his locations to his advantage. All right, Matt McLean's going to get the first hit of the day. And it's on a little bit of an ambush on a fastball. Doesn't hit it particularly great, kind of pounds it in the ground, but there's nobody over there, so there's a hit. And then Ellie De La Cruz is going to back that up with the first pitch hit as well on a sweeper. This one, this was a good piece of hitting by Cruz. Probably not the best choice by Skenes. He's looking to steal a strike with this sweeper. De La Cruz, this ball kind of sweeps right into his bat, and he knows what to do with it. Just smacks it to right. They get it in quick, so no first to third on the play. So first and second, 1 out. That sets up this long at-bat with Austin Hayes, where eventually he's going to get him on this double play. Heater down, gets some reaching. Nice, easy play. Second baseman takes it himself, double play. So pretty quick and easy inning for Skenes, even with the 2 hits allowed. And we're on to the second. Gavin Lux. 4-seam looking down. Let's see how he got there. If you're going to get a freeze on a fastball down, odds are most of the time you've thrown something that dove below the zone that drew a take. So here's a changeup on 2-2. Let's see where this ends up, and if this helps inform the strikeout. No, that pitch is way off the plate, so that's a no. We're looking for something below the zone. No, he really just went at him with fastballs. Changeup away. Let's see the first 3-2. Curious that Lux doesn't swing at that strikeout pitch. So it looks like maybe his eyes were a little bit up and away from him, as that's where the fastball and the changeup had popped previously. And then this pitch here is just a screaming heater down and in. Actually a decent pitch to hit if you were going to swing, but clearly his attention was all away because he freezes. So there's a nice little strikeout for Skenes, and we're off and rolling in the second. Spencer Steer. And then looks like he's going to get him on a fastball. Actually a pretty good swing here. Trying to go the other way with it, but doesn't quite get enough of it. And you got that giant out there in center running that ball down. So there's another quick out. And then another 2-pitch out here as he goes 1-2-3 in the second. Welvy Marti. Ooh, beautiful pitch. Gets him to swing at something off the plate and in. Nice running play by Henry Davis. Yeah, this is not a pitch you can be swinging at against Skenes. That's 99 in on your hands. That's going to blow you up. All right, third inning. Jose Trevino. So far I'm seeing most of these at-bats are 3 pitches or less to this point. Wow, that was gnarly looking sweeper. That thing took off. What do we got on the metric on this pitch? Hold on. In this ballpark. All right, so it's a 5.5 vert, negative 13 at 85. But look at the trajectory on this. It comes out way in and then zips across. As you can see, Trevino thinks it's coming at him as his foot energy, like his hips open up and he's slanted wide open, hips gone. And all he can do is reach for it, tap it off the end. Easy peasy, easy play, 47-mile-an-hour pop-up. And that is a very quick first out of the third inning. Now here comes a hit. Ke'Bryan Hayes, actually former teammate, was just a Pirate, I don't know, a week ago. Cheats on a fastball, a little ground ball through the hole. So nice swing there, going right at his former teammate. Here is Mr. Friedel for the second time. Remember, got him with a changeup the first at-bat. This time it looks like it's a splinker. Oh, gets a nice easy grounder. He's a little too quick to get the double play, but Skenes is also really good. One of the things that makes him good is not just his strikeout ability, his unpredictability, but also his ability to get a ground ball when he needs one. Man on first here, he's looking for the double play ball. He's got those types of pitches in his arsenal. The splinker, this pitch right here, the splitter, it's really a splinker, whatever, because it's so fast, 94-1. But this pitch is designed to get ground balls. The changeup can get you out on the front foot. Even the heater, if he goes in, is going to jam you a little bit and have a hard time getting lift on it. So Skenes is kind of able to kind of manipulate his pitch selection based on what he needs here. He doesn't need a strikeout here. He needed a ground ball. Can't strike anybody out before he gets 2 strikes anyway. So he gets his ground ball and gets a nice out there. All right, so Matt McLean. Matt McLean's going to get a hit here. Let's see where this sweeper is located. In scoring position with less than 2 outs. Actually a pretty good pitch. He leaves everybody on base, just about. And kind of a lack of urgency by IKF. So Skenes wins this battle but doesn't get rewarded, as happens in baseball sometimes. I mean, you get the little rollover here. And just not a huge sense of urgency there. Didn't really let the throw eat. And McLean, you know, running hard beats it out. All right, so now he's got a little bit of a jam. First and second, 2 outs. And Ellie De La Cruz. Gets him to chase off the corner away. So taking advantage of Cruz's aggression here. And so far we've seen strikeouts mostly with fastballs and a couple changeups so far. All right, we go to the fourth. Austin Hayes got him to ground out the first time on a fastball down and away. Ooh, he's going to put him away with a changeup here. Great pitch. Right on right. It's kind of counterintuitive. You know, people are always taught hard in, soft away, so you would think you would want to throw changeups all the time away. But when you're facing a same side hitter, so right on right versus left on left, oftentimes the real honey hole for you to hit is kind of down and in. And there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, when a hitter sees something straight coming in on him, they often assume fastball. So that makes them fire extra early, trying to beat you to that spot. But then by the time they realize it's a changeup, they're so far out front, as you can see here. He's so far out front with that swing that only one of two things can happen. You can either miss it, or if you hit it, you're very likely to pull it foul. And so that's why I think the down and in spot right on right with the changeup is so effective. As we watch Hayes from the side here. Way out front. So even if he hits this ball, even if he hits it on the barrel and hits it hard, odds are he's just going to pull it foul, and it's going to be just a free strike. So that's why I think that pitch is so well protected. And obviously it works even better for the swing and miss if you've set it up with some sort of fastball on the inner third before that. All right, so there's a nice strikeout. Now he's going to give up a double here to Lux. So he's giving up some hits in this game. But again, he doesn't beat himself. There's no walks. He's been ahead in the count almost every at-bat. Lux almost takes him deep here. This is not a great pitch. Little bullet slider. Let's see where it gets to. I didn't actually watch this pitch. I was too busy looking at something else. But does it go to the down and in spot? The lefty down and in spot? Yeah, more or less. Anytime you throw a bullet pitch, you do not want it to end up in this one little box area right here. This is the danger zone. What's funny, though, and I always lamented this a little bit as a pitcher, is that, you know, the swing and miss is actually like all right here in this area. So it's a really hard thing to do, but you're trying to hit that blue, and the red is kind of in your way. And the red is like really bad damage. It's not like mediocre damage. Like really bad things happen when you throw a medium speed pitch in that red spot, but you're trying to shoot for that blue spot. And really, we all know that, you know, when you're pitching, any type of deviation off of your release point by whether it's, you know, even an inch or two has a huge implication at home plate. So this is a really hard thing to do, a really hard thing to have great command. And even the best pitchers in the game, like Skenes, sometimes are going to miss in this red area. And that's why he almost gets clipped. But he's got the Clemente wall out there, and he benefits from that. So it's a double, and it's not a run, and it gives him a chance to kind of pitch his way out of it. So let's see how he does that. First, it's Spencer Steer.
Pirates starter since Zane Smith back in 90.
99 down and away. Paint. That's a strikeout looking. Love me some strikeouts looking. And then Noel V. Marte with a long at bat. Looks like he's going to get him with a changeup. Let's see if that pitch is down and in again. Ooh, down and away, but the key was the down, and I bet he sped him up with some fastballs. So the key with the changeup, we'll go back to red here. The key with the changeup is got to be below the zone, and then I also think this inner part is very effective. But what really helps is if you've thrown a fastball, you know, somewhere in this location. So it kind of forces you to swing. So let's go back in time a little bit to this 1-2 count and see how this at-bat develops. So 1-2 count, first changeup attempt for the strikeout here. Little too low, doesn't get the bite. Then he goes sweeper off of that. Doesn't get the bite.
Can he tempt him?
So here's a fastball, sinker. So all right, so there's one that kind of helped him get that chase. You see, note the location, bottom third of the zone with something hard. Let's see where this sweeper goes.
And that's what he did right there.
Kind of a tough pitch to swing at, but it looks to me like if I was pitching now, I would consider the hitter to be in swing mode, which means he's probably going to swing at almost anything reasonable. And you can see there, he just swung at 2 pitches in a row that aren't really close, and he could have had himself a walk. But now Paul knows he's got him in swing mode, so he's just got to get that changeup. He's just got to sell the changeup that it's going to come out in the zone, and it's going to finish bottom of the zone, below the zone, and he's going to get his swing. And that's exactly what happens. Sells it, looks like it's going to be in that blue area, drops below, and he gets his punchy to end the inning. And he strands the runners, as he seems to always do. So now we go to the 5th. He's going to get a little ground out on Trevino. Running it in on his hands with the sinker. So Skenes does a really good job of mixing up multiple pitch types that have similar movements. He uses 4-seam, sinker or splinker, and changeup all to the arm side. So all these pitches are going to come out in a very single way, and they're just all going to vary in terms of how much they're going to drop. The 4-seam is going to drop the least. The splinker is going to drop a little bit more than that, and the changeup is going to drop even more than that and get there even slower. So that's a 3-way tunnel that he can kind of use to his advantage by reading where the hitter's timing is at any time. In addition to that, once he feels like maybe they're locked in on that type of shape and location, he can sweeper you to the left. So a lot of options from Skenes, and that's pretty much the thing I'm most impressed with him. As we're only in his second year, you should not have this many options and be this good at deploying.
Here's Hayes. And a base hit his first time.
Here's another sinker. And the right on right, the power of the right on right sinker is really that it can get you a quick out, and that allows a starter to get deep into the game. This is a beautiful pitch. This is a beautiful 0-0 location on a sinker. Down in. Most hitters are going to do just this. They're going to chop this ball to third. They're going to chop this ball to short. They're probably not cheating on the first pitch fastball, so they're probably not going to beat you to spot and be able to lift this pitch. Even if you don't get a quick out, it sets you up for success as you move forward. So beautiful job for Skenes there. He gets rewarded with a quick out. All right, now he's going to give up another hit. This time it's the third time through. Friedel's going to finally get him here a little bit.
Fair ball.
Yeah, well, he throws it in the honey hole for the lefty, that down and in spot. And, you know, it was just one of those situations where it was a prove-it heater. He got to 3-2, 2 outs with nobody on and a 4-run lead. Certainly you're not going to walk anybody. Skenes decides to go right at him, and sometimes you're going to give up a hit. Friedel, third time through with a nice stroke there. 106.3 off the bat, so very hard hit. But no big deal. Now he's just got to bear down and get this third out, and it's going to be Matt McLean. Ooh, another right-on-right changeup. And there it is, slightly in and below the zone. Another masterclass in execution by Skenes. This is really, this is just beyond his years. Like, he was literally at LSU like a year and a half ago, just throwing four-seamers and a lot of sweepers and a little bit of changeup. But he probably never had to use his changeup much right on right. And now you fast forward to, I mean, I guess he's like 40 starts into his big league career, something like that. We can look at that in a second. And he's throwing right on right, changeups down and in, and he's just a complete pitcher. It's just crazy how fast he was able to become complete. Look at this pitch. Boom. Beautiful execution. All right, 6th inning. De La Cruz, he's going to get him. This is the second strikeout of Veli. And the second time they got him chasing up away. That's just good scouting. There's some guys in the game that you'll just know that this area right here, this up away area, is a big swing through location. And if you can get to it, you're gonna get some chase and some swing and miss. So, good job by Skenes to follow the scouting report and to be pinpoint. All right, Austin Hayes, third time.
I don't know. We'll never know what New York would have ruled, but they've been worth taking.
Ooh, stuck his nose in there pretty good on a sweeper, but it sweeps just enough, gets it off the end. Only 85 off the bat. That's not going to do anything, and it's a pretty easy out. Looks like he's going to give up his last hit of the game, the Lux, on a first pitch fastball. Skenes was probably sniffing an extra inning here. You know, sitting at 89 pitches going into that at bat. He's probably thinking, I'll just go right at him, hopefully get a quick out. Maybe I could earn myself another inning. But Lux is on it, does a good job, lines it up the middle, nice short stroke on a fastball down in the zone. And now Skenes is going to have to battle to get that last out of the 6th, which he does right here. Man, the sweeper's sweeping too, so he really had it all working from what I can see in this game. He had a nice mix of pitches. As we'll show the strike zone here for a second. He had a nice mix of pitches on the inner third. So whether it was four-seamers, and then he really used the bottom rail well to help set up changeups below. But then when he needed to go away with the breaking ball, he was showing heavy sweep to this side of the plate. Everything going from right to left, way over here. So just when you think you're going to open your hip up and cheat to something in, he's got the sweeper moving away from you. So again, once you think you can cheat to something in, he'll go ahead and make you reach away. And if he gets you reaching away, then he'll jam you in. So again, he's got all the pitches. He's got all the mix. He's got great awareness. And he just doesn't beat himself. It's another walkless outing for Paul. And really, that's the key. Like, this guy he just makes you beat him. He's going to give you an absolute, he's going to give you an absolute kitchen sink approach. You have no idea what's coming. And that makes it really, really tough. Yeah, he's only 47 starts into his big league career with a 1.95 ERA. I have him number 3 on my rankings for if I had to start a winner-take-all game. And, you know, I have Evaldi as number 2 because Evaldi's been there and done that. And he actually has better run prevention numbers than anybody right now. I think he's got like a 1.3 ERA. through 111 innings this year. So that's why I have this right now. And Skubal, I think, is got the belt at the moment, championship belt, until it's ripped from him. But this top three, pretty interchangeable. I do think Crochet and Wheeler are just a tiny tier down from these guys at the moment. Not that they're very vulnerable, but these top three guys have been basically untouchable all year. They're just not giving up runs. And a big part of it is that walk rate. They have exceptional walk rate. Skenes, 6.1% walks, 81st percentile. Outstanding, especially considering all the different types of pitches he throws. Same for Evaldi. I'll click over to Nate real quick. Nate is at 4.8% walks. So that's a big part of the reason why I have him at number 2. 95th percentile in walks. So not only are these guys hard to hit, but all of my top 3 guys just are so stingy with the free bases as well. And Skubal, 3.6% walks. So that's my reasoning. I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. But those are my power rankings for the starters at the moment. All right. Topic number 2 was there was a 17 pitch at bat last night between Jacob Lopez of the A's and Nathaniel Lowe of the Nationals. Now, this is what it kind of looks like. This was the breakdown of all the pitches. You can see he tried 4-seamers, changeups, cutters, sliders, sinkers. He really used the whole kitchen sink at him. He threw him a whole lot of strikes. There was a whole lot of foul balls, but 17 pitches is super weird. So I think we should go ahead and just watch the video. And we'll click over to that. A's and Nats. And it was his third at-bat, Lopez versus Lowe. So let's go ahead and watch this 17 pitch absolute war between Jacob Lopez and Lowe. So, little heater middle, first pitch.
3 runs scored. Competition in the outfield. You'd love to see it.
Heater down in, so 1-1.
Jacob Lopez picks up just 1 out here in the 8th inning. It would be the longest outing of his career.
Change up away, beautiful pitch for the called strike, and he's up 1-2. So 3 pitches in, he's in the driver's seat.
Lowe fouls it right back.
There's foul ball number 1, little cutter up. Now, I've never really watched Jacob Lopez pitch. That's a very fast cutter off of his fastball. Similar speed, so interesting to note that. But Lowe was under that ball, so maybe he wanted to shoot higher with that cutter. I was going to go slider off the cutter, which is a very commonly used sequence. A lot of times if a hitter sees a pitch with spin kind of pop in the middle and it has like a short amount of movement, then the next pitch, when it's a slider that also has spin but it will have more movement, now you're getting the same reaction of the hitter, but you're getting the swing at a ball instead of a strike. So that's why a lot of times people like to go cutter to slider. So that's what he does here, but this is an excellent little emergency hack to get the foul ball from Nathaniel Lowe. Now he's going to try that heater.
Fouls off another.
He has him late. Definitely has him thinking out away on something soft, but Lowe is officially in battle mode here.
In the 9th inning.
Change up down. Really good pitch. Really good take. Really good all around. This ball might have shaved the bottom of the zone. You know what? We can check, actually. I actually have this pulled up. We can actually see. Did this pitch shave the bottom of the zone? Sure looks like it. It's touching, but I think that's a good take by Lowe either way. So we can go back to this at bat. Good take, good take.
Incredibly hard to come by.
Very close.
Over the last week.
All right, still 2-2. 4-seam this time again. He is definitely hunting outside and just throwing the hands and fighting off everything that's on the inside. All right, we're gonna try cutter again. And now he does a good job. Works it to 3-2. So now we're at the ultimate moment here. 3-2. And we'll see how they battle from this point forward. Another the same exact sequence there. Cutter, then back that up with a slider. So That's one trend we've seen so far. He likes to go slider
Balls
after
one
the cutter. This
foul right
time,
side.
Lowe's all over it. Actually hammers this ball. It's the first swing that wasn't a protect swing of this at-bat. Fastball middle. Definitely a little late on it. I think he's on spin timing, but he's able to still foul you off. Only 91.6. They're going to double up with a fastball. I think he wants to get this fastball up. If I were him,
I feel like this is that moment.
he's missed with a lot of pitches kind of down. And when you have a hitter that's late on a fastball down, really you want to get this pitch more up here, kind of get over the barrel. But he's not able to do that there, and the at-bat continues. Pitch 13. This is crazy. If you average 17 pitches in an inning, that's probably too many, let alone to one batter. He does try to go up and in, which I think is a good idea here off the 2 fastballs. But again, Lowe just does a good job of emergency hacking and staying alive. This is a lost start as a hitter. This is very frustrating to face as a pitcher. Cutter middle. He got kind of lucky with that pitch. That pitch could have been hammered in. Honestly, he's made quite a few mistakes in the middle here. Oh, goes right to the slider again off the cutter.
Nice job.
Almost works this time. So every time he's gone cutter, he's gone immediately to slider.
Nathaniel Lowe.
So there's a little bit of a trend.
Innings so far.
Change up again, another foul ball. And we finally get to the final pitch. Pitch number 17. Both guys have done an amazing job in this at-bat. And it looks like he's going to punch him looking. Yep, gets him looking, down and away sinker. Really good pitch. Surprised Lowe didn't swing. He seemed to be firmly in swing mode, but that's what a 17 pitch at bat looks like, folks. That's a great battle. And you got to give credit to Lopez for being relentless and just throwing strike after strike after strike there. But I wanted to show this screen really quick. I don't know if you guys have ever pulled up stuff like this, but this is what it looks like on the 3D pitch plot. It shows you the full track of how all these pitches came out. And as you can see, it's really hard to kind of identify a lot of them very early. The cutter, the slider, the fastball, they all seem to come out of a similar line here. See, it's all kind of jumbled. But he did leave a lot of pitches in the middle. He ends up finally getting them with this sinker. This was the called strike 3 pitch. And as you can see, the trajectory out of hand makes it look like it's running away before it kind of swoops back to the corner. So that's a really cool thing to look at. One of my favorite things to look at. All right, so let's go back to the chat for a minute, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on something else, which is my pitcher power rankings for relief pitchers and who I would say are the guys that you can trust the most right now to get the final 3 outs for the World Series, and this is my current list. I have Robert Suarez as my number 1, and I have the resurgent Cuban Missile, Aroldis Chapman, as my number 2. I feel like his walk rate being low has made a huge difference this year. His stuff looks amazing. He's not slowing down. Plus, he's got the experience of being a 2-time World Series champ and being in a lot of big-time games. I got my boy, Sugar Edwin Diaz, as the number 3 spot. He's just rolling. I don't think he's allowed to run in like 19 innings or so. He does have a little bit of a stolen base vulnerability. That's why I would put these other 2 ahead of him. But, you know, it's all just splitting atoms at this point. Sugar's the man. Yohan Duran just got to the Phillies. He looks rejuvenated being with the Phillies. His stuff's incredible. He's got all the pitches to get any better out, so I definitely go with him. And I'm going to go with Cade Smith as my number 5. I watched him pitch the other night against the Mets, get out of some big jams just on the strength of an incredible fastball with incredible extension and an ability to really power it through the zone. So those are my top 5 at the moment. I'd be curious what everybody else thinks about the relief pitchers, because it is important this time of year to kind of take stock of some of these relievers that could potentially end the season. Standing out there with the confetti dropping down and getting mobbed on the mound. As managers get deeper into the season, the circle of trust always shrinks to, I trust 4 or 5 guys in my bullpen, to eventually down to 2 or 3. So for me, that's one of the interesting things as we trend towards the playoffs is who are the guys that are going to be reliable to take the ball 10 to 12 to 14 times throughout the playoffs and get those big outs and end team seasons and potentially be on the mound for the last game of the season. So those are my choices, and I'd love to see what you guys have in the chat as well. Although it looks like the chat is very backed up right now in terms of time. So I don't have any other categories for today, actually. Those are the two main things that happened last night. We could go and watch Drake Baldwin's 2 homers. He had a nice 2-homer game for the Braves last night, so maybe we'll go check that out while we're here. And then maybe somebody in the chat could give me something they want me to check out, or any questions. Ask me anything while we're here. So it was the Fish, the Miami Marlins, and the Atlanta Bravos. And Drake Baldwin, the rookie, had a nice day last night with a 2-homer game. So let's watch both at bats where he homers. Actually, he's facing the phenom too, Yuri Perez.
That is his number one.
It'll get me over curveball. Yeah. Got to be on the fastball against Perez. It's crazy extension. Actually, it's not that crazy. It's above average extension with just from a huge body with absolute petrol, 98.4. And wham! Beats him to the spot, down and in. That's a turn and burn swing if I've ever seen one. And a nice job. Ball flies at this ballpark. So nice swing, Drake Baldwin. Pops it out to right. 102-2, and that's the first homer of the night. A big key when you're a pitcher, kind of evaluating this type of pitch. A lot of times, a 4-seamer that gets pulled to the glove side and slightly down is the pitch that will get clipped for the home run. When they stay true and they stay behind them on those 4-seamers, they ride and they kind of disappear up into the zone, and it's really hard for a hitter to match that plane with the barrel. But when they get pulled down and in, it's a lot easier just to snap the hands down and to clip it. And that's exactly what we see on this pitch right here from Yuri. And, you know, credit to Baldwin for beating him to the spot on a 98.5 mile an hour pitch. So there's the first dinger. And here is the second one. This one is also versus Yuri Perez. So I'm going to start him the same way with a get me over curveball. Again, not what he's looking for. I might have been looking for that the second time. I might have been thinking, well, this is the third at bat, so I don't know what happened the second at bat. But I might have been thinking he could have swung at that. This time he's going to stick with the curveball. So back-to-back curveballs. Even though this pitch is below the zone, he gets the call. He gets the 0-2. And you know what? Drake Baldwin did not come off the heater, because he's on time for 98 again. Virtually the same speed, 98.4. This one's a little more up and away from him, but it has really good ride on it. Almost 19 inches of vertical movement on this pitch. This pitch had good lift. This was a tough pitch to homer on. And honestly, it's an impressive amount of patience from the hitter. He did not want to hit a curveball. He felt very good about sitting on fastball and trusting that he's going to get one. So even though he got 2 curveballs in a row this at-bat, he stayed on the heater and was ready to hit. And I do think a hitter that is committed to his approach and does not move off of it is a dangerous hitter. So you got to give Baldwin credit here. And it results in a beautiful 2-home run game off of a great pitcher. Let's watch this swing from the side, as this is a very quick stroke. Yeah, interesting swing here. He goes leg kick up. And then it's just a very quick, gets the foot down. So the foot down gets down plenty early. Then he engages everything, snaps it on through. Man, big time swing. Big time swing there from Drake Baldwin. So that's 2 homer day for Baldwin. Now we'll go back to the chat for a second and see what we can find. A lot of people commenting on the artistry used in that showdown. How would you evaluate a pitcher you are scouting and determine starter or reliever? I think it's gotten harder. I think it's gotten harder these days to immediately evaluate that. I mean, in the old days, it was kind of, if you were a 2-pitch guy, you were more of a relief pitcher. But I think a lot of it comes down to your personality too. Like, are you a guy that needs to kind of be a sprinter, or are you a guy that can handle kind of turning your engine on once every 5-6 days and still stay sharp? Nowadays we can teach guys pitches, so it's pretty easy to learn an expanded arsenal, whereas I think in the old days, some guys kind of figured out how to throw 4 or 5 pitches, whereas most guys didn't, and so they were kind of limited in the types of hitters that they could combat, and they just couldn't flip over the lineup 2 or 3 times. But nowadays we can really teach guys expanded arsenal. So it's the guys that, number one, have the right mentality for it to be a starter. Number two, have the ability to be durable and stay healthy and throw a lot of innings. And I think that lends itself to type 3, which is the understanding of how to control your contact, how to get quick outs when you need them, how to generate a ground ball when you need it, how to generate a pop-up when you need it, how to kind of pitch in a contact style, but then go for the kill with 2 strikes. Relief pitchers tend to be more ferocious from the jump, and they might be able to actually go out there and seek 3 whiffs in a row and just pitch for strikes, swing and misses the whole way. But at the same time, I also think there's something in the makeup of a reliever, especially a great reliever, where they can deal with the failure, because when you do fail as a late inning reliever, it does cost your team, and those games tend to hurt more. So somebody who can deal with that type of feeling, and also somebody who likes to be out there all the time, likes the chance to pitch 50, 60, 70 times in a season. And I thought, for me at least mentally, that always really helped me. Just knowing that I could play a lot and affect a lot of games was something that was fun to me. I didn't like sitting around and kind of waiting on my good games or my bad games. All right, what else we got? How has David Peterson turned to an ace caliber pitcher after being mid-rotation for multiple years? So this is a little bit what I was just talking about. We can go jump over. I can go jump over really quick to David Peterson here. I don't want that. Hold on. Yeah. So let me jump over to my guy, David Peterson, right here, and I can show you a little bit of what he's gotten so good at. All right, so this system, the baseball savant system, is always going to underrate a guy like David Peterson a little bit, and a big part of that is because of his strikeout rate. Obviously, strikeouts are the holy grail for pitchers because nothing bad can happen if the ball's not put in play. Now, obviously, if the ball's put in play, a lot of it's out of your control. You can control a little bit by becoming really good at it. You can control a little bit of whether you give up hard contact or whether you give up balls in the air, balls on the ground. You can kind of manipulate that a little bit with your pitch choices and your execution. And that's one of the things he's gotten really good at. But all that being said, once the ball leaves the bat, there's a lot out of your control as a pitcher. So generally speaking, these metrics like expected ERA, expected batting average, all those types of things are really going to look better when you have a big strikeout rate. David Peterson, he's only at 20.3, so it's a below average strikeout rate. And ultimately, a lot of these projections here, these expected stats, aren't going to favor him. Now, what does he do really, really well? Well, the first thing he does really, really well is he avoids the barrel. So even though he's giving up contact, he's not giving up that optimal launch angle contact, which is what defines a barrel, which is like 95 miles an hour or harder within a certain band of launch angles that results in like huge slugging. So doubles, triples, and homers. Second thing he does really well is he gets ground balls. And getting ground balls is particularly key when you have runners on first base. But what can undermine you when you have runners on first base? Well, you could be like Ottavino and allow them to steal second every time, and then when you get a ground ball, you're not going to be able to get any double plays. But David Peterson is one of the very, very, very best in the world at keeping runners on first base. This is his running game statistics since 2020, and he's never had a year where he hasn't been elite. This year, he's presented 7 net bases. He's allowed 7 net bases less than average, which is outstanding, and they're only even attempting to steal on 0.3% of opportunities. So he's allowed 1 steal in the year, and even though he's allowed 1 steal, he's had a caught stealing and he's had 3 pickoffs. So he's converted 4 outs on the bases while only allowing 1 guy to steal, and that's super big when you're a ground ball pitcher like he is, because you're able to get 2 outs with 1 swing oftentimes. And that's what he's able to do. Now, how is he able to do that? This was a big adjustment for him. He has become a sinker and 4-seamer pitcher. So you can see here, sinker 29.2%, 4-seamer 23.6%. So you know you're going to get some fastballs, but you don't know what shape they're going to have. If we look over here in the shape department, he's got the 4-seam in these red dots, which has a little bit of a cut to it. So 4-seam's going to ride in a little bit on a righty or away from a lefty, and then the orange dots are the sinkers. So it's a similar speed but an opposite movement. One pitch is going to run in on you a little bit if you're a righty, and the other pitch is going to drop and run away from you if you're a righty. So Peterson can kind of play the inside-outside game. He can mess with the plane of your swing. So if you're getting scoopy, he can use 4-seam to get over you. If you're more direct, he can use sinker to get under you, and essentially allows him to force you to mishit the ball. And that's how it manifests itself in his lack of overall barrels. So yes, the hard hit percentage is not great, but a lot of those are ground balls, and a ground ball almost never results in an extra base hit. And he also does it with some very good extension. He's a tall guy. He's a lefty guy. I think there's a little bit of uncomfortability in the box. Guys aren't able to get their A swings off of him a lot. So all of these things that he's doing, his ability to throttle sinkers and four-seamers and kind of keep guys guessing with what bat plane they need to use, has been crucial. He's also has a very good changeup that gets balls on the ground. His slider, which is his one big swing and miss pitch. Let's see if I can find some of his data on his slider. I think that's his best whiff pitch. Yeah, his slider, 35.7% whiff. That's this pitch right here, 35.7 is the slider. So when he needs a swing and miss, he has a pitch to do that, but he's simply not trying to be that guy all the time, and I think that's really good. When I first played with him, he did tend to go to the slider a lot when he was in trouble because he felt like that was his best chance to get a whiff. But I think now he pitches more of a contact style. He knows how to control it. And then when he needs a whiff, he can go to the slider. And it's not overexposed because he's not overdoing it. So that's my little quick breakdown on what makes Peterson so good. Ability to get ground balls. Ability to tunnel a few pitches that are hard to differentiate. Plus extension and also elite control of the running game. So those are my main things that have made Peterson really good. It's allowed him to go deeper in the games than almost any other Met. And that's really been a big Met problem. Like if you go to the expected statistics of the Mets pitchers this year, and this is like kind of my way that I like to evaluate. It has Peterson all the way down here as the 11th best Met pitcher, but he's rocking a 2.98 ERA. And this is nothing new for him to beat his projection. He's been beating it for the past few years, whereas you see other guys where it kind of goes the other way. Like a Ryan Stanek right now has a 5.03 ERA, and the machine says he should have a 3.77, likely driven by some strikeouts. But at the end of the day, some guys are able to beat these expectations. Some guys actually fall on the other side of that. And of course, you'd rather be a guy whose reality is a lot better than the imaginary world of expected statistics. So that's what David Peterson's doing. He stopped chasing what everybody else is doing. He refined his game. He mastered his game, and that was the key. And if you're a kid out there, the most important thing as a pitcher is to master your game. You can always chase other people, but there's certain people you're not going to be able to emulate. Like, I can't chase Aroldis Chapman's game. I'm not a 6'8" lefty who threw 100 miles an hour. Now I can watch a Raciel Iglesias or Aaron Nola, or I can watch guys with, sinker slider type game. Like I used to watch Sergio Romo back in the day, and I could learn a little bit from them. But you have to understand who you can and who you can't learn from based on your own skill set. And David Peterson does a great job of mastering who he is, and that's made him so great this year. So that was a good question in the chat, and I wanted to respond to that. All right, what else do we have in the chat? What would happen if you tried to throw the ball like Tyler Rogers? Well, I wouldn't throw any strikes. That's number one. Throwing underhand like Tyler Rogers is just not my thing. As you can see, this is the arm angle that he's rocking, -60. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, let's see what arm angle I was rocking, like 20-something degrees? Yeah, 25 degrees. So that would be a crazy drop for me to go from 25 all the way down to -60. And I don't see that as being doable. Okay, so I'll continue to go in the chat, but now we're going to get into my team power rankings. Now, I don't really go off standings. I don't necessarily go off run differential. This is just my gut feeling at the moment. What 5 teams have the best shot to win it all, who I can see them making it through the gauntlet of October. And I'd love to see who you guys have as your top 5, or anybody in your top 5. But this is my current, I'm going to put it on the solo shot for a second, but this is my current top 5. Chance to win the whole dang thing. And I've got the Phillies as the number 1 team right now. I love their pitching. I love their rotation. I love Duran. He really changed their bullpen. Once Robertson's up and running too, that's going to be huge. I love the Padres. I feel like they have a lot of momentum right now. They're getting Michael King, their opening day starter, back today, I believe. Love their bullpen. And I think their offense is really good and really balanced. Like even guys like Iglesias or Arise who are not having their best years, those guys are going to be annoying in big spots to face. Red Sox, they're riding all the momentum in the world. They just signed up Roman Anthony for the future, And they have good vibes there. They also have a great manager in Alex Cora, and I think they have, maybe what it takes in the fortitude department to get through the gauntlet. I'm still going to have the Dodgers as number 4. I feel like you just can't count out the Dodgers. Ohtani's starting to get up to speed pitching. So, eventually you can envision a playoff rotation of Yamamoto, Ohtani, maybe Snell or Glasnow. That's very strong. And again, if Mookie gets going, their offense will look a lot better. And I'm going to give some love to the Blue Jays. They've been playing great ball. They are winning that AL East right now. Their offense has looked excellent. George Springer's been resurgent this year. Vladdy's been very good lately. Bo Bichette's been very good lately. The rotation's getting more healthy. Scherzer's back. So that's my teams right now. Certainly there's other teams in the mix. But those are my top 5 at the moment as we head into the dog days here. So, you don't have to agree with me, but those are my top 5 at the moment for this year. So let's go back to the main screen and let's check out the probables for tonight while we continue to think about those top 5s. All right, we got a lot of good pitchers on the mound tonight. It's too bad a lot of these guys weren't on the mound yesterday. We might have had more to look at, but we got some really good action on the day today. Chase Burns, the phenom, the numbers aren't there yet except for the strikeouts. Strikeouts are certainly there. He got his Speedway game cut short last week, but he's going against the Pirates and Mitch Keller, who's also very good, so that should be a good matchup. JT Ginn and Tomoyuki Sugano, A's and O's. And now, big series for the Yankees to get themselves back going, and Houston needs it too. So this is going to be a really fun, hostile series in the Bronx. Hunter Brown, he almost made my list of top 5 as well. He's been outstanding this year. He's another guy, 4-seam and sinker, kind of does a little bit of both. Really, really good. And Cam Schlitter, the rookie, throws hard, Northeastern Husky for the Yanks tonight. They really need him to step up big, and they're betting on him big after they released Stroman. They're betting on Schlittler being that guy. Kyle Hendricks and my number 1 pitcher in the world, Tarek Skubal, tonight in Detroit. I expect Skubal to run through the Angels, but it should be fun watching Scoobs matching up with Trout. 2 legends going at it, so that's beautiful. Edward Cabrera, one of my new favorite pitchers because he simply refuses to throw a fastball going against the Braves tonight. Cabrera's been rolling. It's been curveballs. It's been changeups. He just doesn't throw fastballs. And it's fascinating to see how long he can sustain that style. Tyner Bybee and Aaron Savali. So 2 Northeastern Huskies on the mound in the same night. I don't know if that's ever happened in MLB as starters, but Savali is the former Husky. He's facing Bybee as Cleveland is trying to chase down Detroit. The lead's down to 6. Can they keep it going? Christopher Sanchez, another guy that I briefly considered putting in my top 5. He doesn't quite make it, but he's been damn good this year. Excellent changeup. Velocity's ticked up. He's the clear number 2 now behind Wheeler with the Phillies, so he's going to be a big part of their chances. And then Merrill Kelly, I believe this is his first start for the Rangers, so been with the D-backs for a while. This guy's got good pedigree, good playoff pedigree. Very interesting guy, played in Korea for a while. So, this could be a good matchup. Excited to watch that. Seth Lugo and Joe Ryan, 2 very, very good pitchers. They both bring a little bit something different to the table. Lugo is a true 8-pitch pitcher. Joe Ryan has that low slot fastball up in the zone and a split. So a lot of craftiness, a lot of player development that went on with these 2 guys, and they've come out on the other side of it looking great. So that's a good AL Central showdown. Kodai Senga, Brandon Woodruff. Well, Woodruff's looked incredible since being back. Is there a way I can look at that? Maybe we should quickly hop over and check out Brandon Woodruff for 1 second because he's been incredible since he came back. I did a video on his first start back. I couldn't believe how sharp he was after not pitching for so many months. But through 5 starts, he's got a 2.22 ERA, 3-0, 0.64 whip. So he's rolling. It's impressive to see. And he's going up against Kodai Senga in the Ghost Fork for the Mets. Kodai has been not as good in the second half, and maybe tonight can be the night he gets rolling for the Mets because they need it. Matthew Boyd, he's been the Cubs' best pitcher this year going against the Cardinals. So Cubs-Cardinals, always fun, huge rivalry. My Major League debut was actually versus the Cubs as a member of the Cardinals, so that's a rivalry that I know a little bit about. Very, very cool. Rockies at Diamondbacks, Gomber and Gallen. Gallen has been disappointing this year, but I still believe in him. He never did not get moved at the deadline. He's going to be interesting, the guy to track this offseason. But, yep, Rockies, Diamondbacks, kind of a sad set of affairs for those 2 teams this year. Red Sox at Padres. Wow. Two hot teams. Walker Buehler looking to still figure things out. They're still rolling with him here on August 8th. It's been a tough year. And Nick Pivetta, former Red Sox. This start's going to mean a lot to him. He's going to want to shove it really hard against the Red Sox tonight, I would think. He's been good. He's been really good at home. Both teams are hot. This might be the game I'll be the most locked into tonight. Drew Rasmussen and Luis Castillo. So this is another good one. Rays going literally across the whole country to play the Mariners. Rasmussen's really, really good. Castillo, this is why I like the Mariners and why I almost made them in my top 5. They have a great pitcher every night. Castillo's that one tonight. Wow. And then a matchup of two absolute gods of the sport. Holy cow. Who knew that this was going down today? Scherzer and Kershaw. Two of my fellow 2006 draftees. Scherzer and Kershaw. Wow. Two old dogs going at it. Man, I couldn't say enough about both of these guys. Two of the most inspiring guys. I know them both pretty well. I played with Max, played against Clayton forever. This will be a fun matchup. Both teams are good. Blue Jays are rolling. Dodgers need to get rolling. Clayton has pitched well his last 2. Jake Irvin and a TBA, Nats and Giants. So those are the games. We can get back in the chat here for a minute because there's been a lot of Mizorowski questions. Looks like this guy keeps asking. So I will get into that for a second. All right. So have you changed perspectives on Mizorowski? He only throws gas, but is this a good thing or bad thing? I don't think we know yet. Mizorowski has been fantastic to watch. He did get hurt in his shin or something. He's been fantastic to watch. Look, he's averaging 99.3. He's got the most extension in the game. It's a spectacle. I don't know how this ages. I have no idea. We have seen very few players like this, and even less players like this that kept rolling in this manner for too long. But I'm not going to say he can't do it. He's got a freaky body, 6'7", 200 pounds, moves like a rubber band. The Brewers are going to take good care of him. I don't want to put any limit on my ceiling of what this guy can do. I mean, there's a world in which he could get to the title of the best pitcher in the world, considering the stuff he has. I mean, 95-mile-an-hour slider. Now, if it were me, I would probably try to dial it back a little bit and think a little bit more in terms of health. Because I think the goal for most players, certainly was for me, was to play as long as I could. Obviously, you want to win, but the more years you play, the more chances at that you get. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I know what it's like physically to throw like 93, 94 and play 15 years. I have no idea what it would be like to throw 100, 102 and play 15 years. I don't know if it's really sustainable. Or not, but I think that's one of the fun things as a fan. We just get to watch it and we get to see. And I think if you're the Brewers, this can go a lot of different ways, but you have to try to see if you can make it work as a starter, because if you can, you have one of the true outliers of the game in this kid. He's different than all the others. All right, what else we got in the chat here? Do you think they will get the call after August 15th? Robbie Snelling, Brandon Sproat, but I do think that you're going to see Sproat and McLean at some point. I'm not 100% sure on Snelling's situation. I think you will see Sproat and McLean, whether it's now or whether it's later, because I think the Mets are kind of desperate to find some lightning in a bottle with a starter. They've struggled with Montas. Canning's out for the year. Holmes might be coming up on pitching too many innings this year. Senga's been a little inconsistent as late. Manaea hasn't been, all thumbs up since he's come back either. So they're desperate to find somebody, and it could be McLean. He's been really good. Sproat, I believe, was the minor league pitcher of the month for the Mets this last month. I could see him maybe popping in the bullpen, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Anyway, I think we're going to call it for the day. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me today on Baseball and Coffee. Again, tonight I think we're going to be watching a heavy amount of this Red Sox-Padres game. That is the game that I'm the most excited for. Without a doubt. Also Houston and the Yanks, and Scooble's on the mound. So there should be a lot to talk about. Please head over. I have all the links here on the bottom of the page. Adam Ottavino 0 on YouTube. That's where this show lives every other day besides Friday. Please go over there, subscribe, come join the chat, hang with us the other days. We get into everything that is Major League Baseball. But this is really fun, and it's great to have you guys in the chat for me. Maybe we have time for one more question here. What is your opinion on the downfall of the Orioles? I just don't think they had enough pitching. They ran into a little bit of trouble with injuries early with Gunnar Henderson this year. And Rushman's kind of a curious case. I still do believe in him. But they just didn't have enough pitching this year, and I think they could have done a better job preparing this season with, acquiring some more real pitchers. I think they had a little too much faith in what they were doing, and it all kind of fell out from underneath them. So that's my opinion on the Orioles. But that is all we have for today. So once again, thank you so much for joining me on Baseball and Coffee, and I'll see you next Friday. And if you come over to my YouTube channel, you can see me almost every day. So thanks so much, and have a great day.